Welcome everyone. Today we're going to be learning how to run Llama3.1 locally with Ollama and building a project to be able to use it through the API. Let's get started. The first step is to install Ollama. Go to ollama.com and pretty simple, download the Ollama for the correct OS. Once that's done downloading, we're going to open that up. And it's going to guide us through moving into applications and then installing a command line command for us. Okay, great. And next we're going to install the command line right here. And then it actually gives us the command to run our first model, and this is the model that we're going to work with today. So this is going to take a little bit for you to download. Ollama run Llama3.1. It's going to be about 5 gigabytes worth of a download here, so it depends on your machine how long that'll take. A quick note while that's downloading for you all. The 70B version of this model that you can install simply by adding a :70B is probably the one that you want to use for more serious development. You'll see that the quality of the responses that we get from the 8B model is not of the highest caliber, and then that's natural. It's a smaller model, but the 70B does a pretty great job and is a good balance between its size and memory consumption versus its performance. So that's the recommended one for any serious web development. Of course, if you have a much more powerful machine, go for the 405 billion model, and of course the opposite way, if your machine doesn't have that much space on it, the 8 billion model is at least good to try things out with. Okay, wonderful. Once you have it running, you'll be able to see the chat interface show up. You can interact with Llama3.1 right here through the chat interface. But of course, what we want to do is programmatically interact with Llama3.1 locally. So we're going to show you 2 ways how to do that. The first way is going to be replacing a existing working app and its use with Sublayer generators with a custom provider. So it's pretty simple. We're going to be using a very small, silly project called Historical Event Finder that is simply got a gem file that has just Sublayer in it, a configuration that points to OpenAI's GPT-4, and the historical event generator that's super simple. All it does is identifies a fun historical event that occurred on today's date in the past. That's it. Right now it's working. Let's show that. But it's working through OpenAI's GPT-4, and we'll see a great quality response because it's GPT-4. August 7th, first automobile race to take place. Great. So it gave us an interesting historical event. What we're going to do is point this very simple project over to our local model that we actually have available to us now. Now that Ollama is running, you can see that right here, and we downloaded the Llama3.1 model, we're able to interact with it. And so once you go to our tutorial here, you can copy the provider here. And this provider is going to point to the port that Ollama exposes to interact with the local models, and also use some tool calling. And we'll go over this in more detail if you want to go into the Sublayer docs and go to the bottom of this page. There'll be another video for coming up with your own custom provider and all the details around that. But very simply, we munge the response and we have some tool calling and point to the correct port here. Okay, well, we copied this code. We're going to add a new file here called, let's call it ollama llama3 Llama3.1. I will put that in here. You can keep the namespacing if you want. If it's a Rails project and you've put it in a lib folder, probably want it in these organized directories. You'll probably have other Sublayer classes in there too. So feel free to keep these namespaces if you want. I think for this project I'll keep it pretty simple, one-dimensional and flat. Ollama Llama3.1 is going to be the name of the class. And in our historical event finder, we're going to require relative. And here, we don't have a dynamic use of the AI model because, well, it's in the name. This is specifically for the Llama3.1. And we hard-code it here. So we're just going to use that right here. Ollama Llama3.1. Doesn't need the AI model. And we'll just run this again. The quality of our response again will be a little bit less than the one that we got from GPT-4. The first successful hot air balloon flight took place on August 7th, 1783. I actually like the quality of that response just fine. But yeah, that's what we just got back from Llama3.1. Great. So that was us replacing an existing Sublayer project's working code for OpenAI GPT-4 over to using a custom provider that we just copy pasted here that points to our local model that we just downloaded and have running. Okay, let's actually go into one more layer here and start fresh on a full demo just to show you all how easy it is to build a Sublayer project that uses this local model. So let's create a new project. This project is going to be for the generation of Dr. Seuss styled short poems. Let's copy all of this. It's very simple. We're just going to make a project directory for Dr. Seuss Poem Maker. That'll be our folder. We'll touch the gem file and a few other files that we're going to populate in just a moment. Awesome. So let's open this up and let's get a gem file in there that just has a single gem, a Sublayer gem. And we'll bundle install so we can install our gem. Great. And we can create a generator here that writes poems in the style of Dr. Seuss. I'll say writes short poems. And I probably am going to replace the prompt that's being generated here with something very simple because I have one in mind. And while that's going, we're also going to continue to, we're going to again copy paste the provider code here as well. Let's do that while that's generating. Ollama Llama3.1 RB right here. And over here, we're getting the code here for the Dr. Seuss poem generator. So I'm going to copy paste this code here. I'm going to call it Dr. Seuss poem generator. Perfect. Generated poem, a short poem in the style of Dr. Seuss. And I think this is a little bit much. I don't need a description or a title. I'm going to keep it simple, and it's just going to make it a random poem for me. And I'll just say, write a short poem in the style of Dr. Seuss. Keep the prompt very simple. And let's run our code. Oh, no, we actually have to write our script. So here we'll require Sublayer, we'll require relative. Oh, we can copy this actually. We'll require relative on the two files that we just created. We're going to use the AI provider, or configure Sublayer to use the AI provider that we just created, the custom AI provider. And then we're going to try and use the Dr. Seuss poem generator. Dr. Seuss poem generator, great. Let's give that a go. So Dr. Seuss Poem Maker.rb. Let's run that. Let's see what comes out. Oh, in the land of silly things where wild whimsy swings, there once was a creature quite bold and bright, with feathers all fluffed up in delight. Okay, so a poem was created. Wonderful. And it's using our local model. That's it. Thanks so much for checking out the tutorial. LLMs are constantly being updated, and so will these tutorials. So make sure you subscribe to see more of our content as these updates come out. Thanks so much, and see you guys next time.